In today's episode of the Wholesale Daily, we're going to talk about inspections, the do's, the don'ts, things you want to avoid, things you want to proactively take into your own hands so that you don't spend the money you think you're going to make on a deal only to have it fail inspection and then fail your hopes and dreams of that money.
From your fingertips.
Dripping through like the sands of the hourglass, drip by drip.
These are the days of our lives.
These are the wholesale days. Right on. I'm Dustin.
Josh. Corey.
And we are the Wholesale Daily Show. Now I'll tell you what, we've forgotten the exit tunes lately, so today we're going to have Corey do an exit.
Some more exit tunes.
When we leave. So we're excited. It's a fresh week, and sometimes Mondays can be tough. However, I often look forward to Monday to get the ball rolling again.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but for whatever reason, people get the ball. There's the ball.
It's rolling towards Josh.
There's this.
I can't get it out of here.
Those are giant balls you have. Podcasters, you're never going to know what's going on at this point because you can't visually describe it. YouTubers, we definitely can. But so it's Monday. And there's this strange thing that happens on the weekend where people just think, oh, they're not going to work. So a lot of contractors stop working, and a lot of your momentum stops. So I like Mondays because you kind of spool up the momentum, get it going through the week. And if there was any movement over the weekend, it's exciting to touch base with your team and see where all that beautiful movement's at. So we're flying into Monday here, and today we got a special topic for you. And we're going to talk about inspections, all right? And there's going to be a couple types of inspections. First off, if you're fixing and flipping, there's going to be the inspection of your buyer, right? That's a big one. Wholesaling, you're obviously going to have inspections as well, but they're probably going to be from once again, the buyer again, but they probably won't be the full-on inspection that like someone who's putting a mortgage on the property is going to do. So Josh has been away for the last couple days. He was on, we call them secret missions when he disappears.
That's right. Yeah.
When he disappears. We've had a lot of very interesting things happen with inspections. We've had raccoons living in the attic that we've discovered.
Yeah, and like probably years worth of raccoon
Years
feces.
and mountains of feces.
Yeah.
And we've had the property closing within a couple days, but then there's all this raccoon feces. But then all of the pest people were away and not working, and I think we actually lost that deal, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And it closed maybe 3 weeks ago, but I think it had been under contract twice before then. So if it could have sold the first time, that would have been awesome.
Would have. And we could have prevented that. Could have prevented that.
Could have prevented it.
So why don't we share with these guys things you need to proactively do in order to make sure things go smooth from either a wholesale standpoint or if you want to fix and flip this thing and you're going for top of the market value. So Josh, you want to lead them through what they should do to really proactively not get screwed like we have been many times?
Yeah, I think what we've done in the past or when we first started out, because we do this thing remotely, is we were having our realtor check up on the contractor's work. And you might ask, well, did the realtor have a lot of experience in that field? And not so much, but sometimes you're just doing the best you can with what you got. And we were finding that there was lots of issues. We had a lot of guys who were more or less just hired guns, and so they would come do the work, get their paycheck as quickly as possible and get out of there, and have the realtor check. And that was okay, but you definitely need more than that. And so you want to have someone go in and inspect the contractor's work. And you got to get someone that's going to be good, because we were getting these cheap bulk rates. I think it might have been $125 or so. We were getting bulk inspections done, and he would go through and address a lot of the issues. But then when it came time, when someone would get the property under contract, the bank would send out their guy who'd do the inspection and find a whole bunch of things And a lot of times it might make the guy nervous to buy the house. They don't want to buy it, or they start to notice a couple things that are wrong, which then they notice everything that's wrong. And so a lot of these houses are foreclosure houses, or if you're going to be buying from motivated sellers, you're probably going to be ending up with properties that are dilapidated and have been left alone for a long time. So it takes a lot of work to make them look incredible. And when you're asking the top of the market, you don't have any wiggle room. You got to have some good stuff.
Wiggle room.
So you want to get, use the same guys that the banks are using, because those are the people that are going to come around anyway, and they're going to find a lot of stuff. So maybe talk to some realtors in the area that you're investing in, ask them for the most thorough inspector that they know of, someone who's going to be the pickiest guy possible, and have them do it, because you want to know before the bank knows, or before the buyer knows. And so you want to address all these things so that once the house does get under contract, you're not losing any time, or you're not giving the buyer any negotiating power. The more that's wrong with it, then you got to negotiate again. And if you already have negotiated on the contract, like if you let's say you get your way on the contract, then they're definitely going to try to get their way on the negotiations for the inspection. So just by removing that from the equation, you can take another piece of the stuff or whatever. You can take that from the equation, the stuff that's going to negatively affect you, or as Dustin said at the beginning, the money that's like falling through the hourglass, the sands that you're trying to hold on to. This will help you hold on to your profits.
Yes.
Make that cheddar.
Yes, here we go.
That's the sand. Money going down the drain.
That's the most beautiful hourglass I've ever seen.
Yeah. Art major.
Yeah, because there's all kinds of crazy stuff that can happen. Foundation things, water in the basement leaking, stuff like that. And just getting it done. Here's another thought too, because if you wait till the very end, then there might be some problems that you would have been better off addressing when the house was opened up, when you're kind of in there getting into the work. And so in that sense, if you can afford it, not even if you can afford it, it would be in your best interest to do one at the beginning, so that when the contractors are opening up everything, you can handle it then, which is going to help you save money later on. Because if you open up the house, do all the repairs, do all the work, close it back up, get the inspection, and there's something wrong, say in the foundation. I mean, if you're already doing a whole bunch of work down there, or if there's something wrong with the joists or something like that, when you have the house open, that's a better time to get in there. Those are some thoughts around inspections for fix and flips.
Yeah, one of the things we share a lot of horror stories here on this daily show, and like what Josh was saying earlier, is we do pretty much all of this remotely, and that's really one of the beautiful things about real estate today, is you can be anywhere in the world. Like, we're headquartered up in Vancouver, Canada, but everything we do is in the US. And that's really the beautiful thing about kind of the digital world that we live in. And we had a lot of learning curves trying to do volume from a different country. So whatever excuse you're giving yourself for not doing this, it's unless you're living in a village without internet,
Yeah. And you're probably not seeing this then.
then you're probably not actually, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
If they can see that, if you can watch this,
Watch this.
you can take away all your excuses.
Yeah.
And really get into this. So we've had to learn a lot. We're still learning a lot as we go through and execute on this sort of stuff daily. And the big one that really helped us do this virtually is just, first off, making a few trips there, getting familiar with the area you're going to be working, and building a good team on the ground. And really that comes down to having what we call our ground guy, which is Omar. He's the guy who goes on all of our first home visits, and just does all the running around for us to make this stuff happen. And if you don't have that, if you live in the city, that's great, because you can do it yourself, and even less excuses for you. And then working with a really great real estate agent is also very, very important. So let's talk about a little the difference. So Josh, when wholesalers come and inspect the property versus the banks, and the people putting the mortgage on, what are the main things we want these guys to know for when the inspector, or basically the wholesaler doesn't even really bring an inspector.
Right.
They generally know enough of what's going on to handle it. So you want to talk about the major difference there?
Yeah, definitely. What we've got going on when we're bringing our ground guy there is we just want to make sure that we're buying, sort of getting this property under contract at a price that when we sell this contract to someone else, that there's enough room, there's enough meat on the bone that they can fix up the property and still sell it and maybe make 20K, maybe 25, 30% of their investment. So we need to make sure that we address all of the unknowns and anything that's going to cost money to fix up. And a lot of times you're going to find that people will say, oh, there's nothing wrong with my house, so the only thing it needs is like new appliances or something. And then you get into the home and everything is original, maybe 50 years old. And to get houses at the top of the market, all of that's got to be replaced. And so that's something that needs to be addressed. But you want to identify, how much is it going to cost to get this property at the top of the market, and then I need to make money. We need to make money on the contract, and then whoever buys it needs to make money. So all of that's got to be factored into this first home visit. So you're checking out, like HVAC would be really important, electrical. It's just usable in good shape. Does it need to be replaced? If so, how much is that going to cost? Because that's where you're going to be spending a lot of money, especially if something is original or 50, 60 years old. That's going to be a huge thing. Windows, they really start to add up. If you got 20 windows, a couple $100 a window right there with installation, that's going to add up to a lot as well. The roof is going to be another big one. When people are buying houses at the top of the market, roof is a huge one. I see that question come up all the time. When was the roof replaced? And if it's old, that's going to be another thing that's going to need to be replaced. Paint, of course, flooring, all of these things are taken into the equation. Kitchens and bathrooms can be really expensive as well. There's a lot of really tacky bathrooms out there with that old school tile, and if you got a bathroom that's done in that old school pink, that really nasty pink look, you guys know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
From the
Grandma's
50s,
house.
exactly.
Grandma's pink.
And that's a lot of labor to kind of chip away that tile. And so all of these things need to be taken into consideration. So we got our ground guy who goes in, and he's got a really, really useful sheet. And he just kind of puts in the information, and it pumps out a number, which is going to be super useful. And I think in one of our other episodes, we kind of gave you a ballpark of how to do that. Was that, a week ago, I think? Yeah, so all of this stuff comes into play. And then we take that rehab amount and subtract it. And so this is where we identify everything. So we bought a lot of houses before from tax sales, and you don't get that luxury. You don't get to go inside. And so this is a much safer way of buying real estate, because when you buy from the outside, you can't get on the inside. You have no idea what's going on inside a lot of times. But those are definitely the biggest things, because labor is going to be cheap, but the cost of replacing an HVAC or the cost of replacing like if the plumbing is nuked, all of this is going to be an issue. If it's been vandalized and someone's taken all the plumbing out, that's going to be huge. So these are all things you need to identify. And if the house is in good shape, it's cosmetically in great shape, but everything needs to be replaced to get it to the top of the market, you got to factor that in as well. And then you come up with a number, and if it works for the motivated seller, then get the contract signed and then pump it out.
Absolutely. So that's a little bit of a rundown on what to expect during inspections and things like that.
What to expect when you're inspecting.
What to expect when you're inspecting.
That's a good title.
That's tight.
That's a tongue twister. So once again, for folks listening on the podcast, we're modernrei.com, and we actually provide leads to wholesalers by running a cold calling sales floor. So if you're a wholesaler and you're listening, even if you want to fix and flip, we know that lead gen is the most challenging part of this business, and often direct mail can take time and it can be costly. So we produce leads all over the US, and we're generally cheaper than direct mail. And it's a great tool to add to your arsenal of, direct mail and bird dogging and signs. And it saves you the time of having to go and actually build a call floor, which is a pain in the butt. So if you're interested in us providing leads for you, type the word leads into the comment box below. And we'll get you some more information on that and set up a call. If you're listening on the podcast, go to modernrei.com, and there's a educational video there on how to set up an appointment. You can analyze your market and see how many leads potentially be available in your area based on our unique algorithm that identifies the leads that we could extract for you. So type the word leads in the comments and we'll get in touch with you. And from there, we're going to see you same time tomorrow. But Corey's going to impromptu grab the guitar and exit tune us today. Oh, I didn't forget.
Hoping you forget.
Corey,
so hoping you
sing us a beautiful song, serenade the folks.
In the style of what?
In the style of Hillbilly Honky Tonk Real Estate.
Well, I want to buy some leads today. Where should I go? I'll go to modernrei.com because they're a bunch of no's.
That rhymed. That definitely rhymed.
I was going to say hose, but I thought that'd be inappropriate.
That's what happens when you go impromptu.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to write it, but
It's pretty good.
I could tell a story though. I could do like a. There was a bunch of dudes walking down the street one day, and they thought, man, wouldn't it be nice if we just got ourselves a home? But where do we go to find a home? I don't know. I had to go to this website, and then I got scammed of all my money. But then I found these modern REI guys, and they were the best darn thing that ever happened to me. And I thought, I hope people find out about these guys because they're the best. And then I went home and I rested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
All right. See you tomorrow.
Peace.
All right.